but it's not. It's not like they don't know it's coming. It's been coming at them for 38 years, bringing a thunderous roar that echoes off the mountains. Baja, the peninsula just south of California. Leave the ocean behind and come here to follow a course that is largely just a rumor. Go hard and go fast, and maybe you can own a piece of the legend. Oh, and when you come, bring plenty of horses.
Okay, so you need the rider to be ready.
You're about to see the Tecate SCORE Baja 1000. The biggest, baddest off-road race in the world.
9 is confirmed out of the race. 9 is out of the race.
It brings chaos to the desert.
Unit calling weatherman, go ahead.
Each truck or bike uniquely designed in a raw combo of high tech and hard work. You'll hear the dreams and see the designs and how far some teams go to win.
If possible, if we could have the helicopter go and remark the course.
Sometimes they know exactly where they're going, and sometimes they don't.
They're approximately 2 miles before New Road.
Everyone is in place to ride off into the desert of Baja.
Weatherman to SCORE 3, copy weatherman.
This is the 38th anniversary edition of the Tecate SCORE Baja 1000 presented by Gillette. The start happens here in the Mexican port city of Ensenada, which is quite used to welcoming visitors to their big race. There are more than 24 classes of competition. The motorcycles begin hours before the trucks. The last thing in the world a bike rider wants to see out in the desert is a truck bearing down on his back. Rider 4X Robbie Bell is the first to leave. He races for Honda B. And this race is 709 miles, starting here in Ensenada and returning. Rider 1X, Steve Hengevel, rides for Honda A. He and teammate Johnny Campbell are looking for the 16th win for Honda in the Baja 1000. Hengevel has won the overall with Campbell the last 3 years. They are the favorites without question. "100 miles ahead waits Johnny Campbell. He is scheduled to ride the next leg for the Hengevel-Campbell team. If Campbell wins this year, he will have won 9 consecutive Baja 1000 races. Hengevel and Campbell are usually the dot on the horizon. This is a race where you want to stay in front because it's also the place where they must have been first to coin the phrase, "Eat my dust." One thing the Baja has is history, and it looks a lot like it always has.
It is still what it was back in the 60s. It is the toughest off-road event in the world. It's man against machinery, and normally the Baja beats you. You don't beat the Baja.
Sal Fish is the man behind the race, president and CEO of SCORE International, the man responsible for organizing this race and picking the course for the last 37 years. Team Honda is hoping that in about 14 hours, they'll be first across the finish line in Ensenada, well in front of the high-tech, unlimited production 800-horsepower trophy trucks that leave the start line 3 hours after them. Staying in front of those trucks is absolutely paramount.
Trophy truck racing is like Formula One. There's no rules on what you can do to your vehicle. You can have a front engine, you can have a mid-engine, you can have big tires, small tires, any number of shocks you want. These things are literally the fastest off-road vehicles in the world. There's nothing in Europe, there's nothing anywhere else in the world that can go over rough terrain like this at the speeds we do.
A man known for custom fabrication is Jesse James of Monster Garage. He's going to turn this into a TV show and is new to the race. Then there's Cameron Steele.
I came to the Baja 1000 for one reason, and that's to win and hang out with all my friends and my family. I mean, my wife is racing here today. My best friends are racing with me. You know, it's just the whole Desert Assassins crew gear up their whole year around this race. So, you know, it almost brings tears to my eyes just being at the start line because it's such the pinnacle of our sport.
when you go off that line, you feel the power of the machine, and they are awesome machines. And by the time you make the second turn down there and drop down into the wash, then you know you have a long, long race, so you just calm down.
NASCAR Nextel Cup veteran Robbie Gordon is back at Baja. His roots are in this sport, and he'll be driving the entire 709 miles all by himself.
What I like about the Baja 1000, it's a logistical challenge. You know, we're going to bring 50 people to support this one vehicle. And it's a lot different than my Nextel Cup car, where on a big track, it's 2.5 miles. I come down pit lane, they change 4 tires. We've got people spread all over this peninsula, between Ensenada, over the summit, Laguna Salada. I mean, I can name out all the pit stops and all the places. And hopefully, if we do have a problem, they can get to us quick, fix the problem, and get back going.
Last year, it didn't go well for Robbie Gordon, but he'll still have his foot mostly on the floor. Each of these drivers approaches the race with their own game plan. And you better have a game plan, like Carl Renezetter.
I'd like to start slow and take it easy, but I know that there's going to be some guys that are going to be going pretty quick, so we're just going to have to feel it out. You know, I typically like to go with my own strategy, but, you know, depending on the dust and stuff, I may have to pick it up a little bit sooner than I wanted to. Just depends on what the other drivers are going to do.
Like all the hopefuls, it's about preparation for Carl, and being prepared includes keeping himself physically fit, like he always has.
My background is I played water polo all the way through college, so swimming's been a thing that I've done and I continue to do ever since then. And I love bicycle riding, particularly mountain biking. So over the years, I've done triathlons, and it's just another thing to keep physically fit. You know, since this is an endurance sport, you want to physically be able to handle what Baja has to give.
Renezetter begins to execute his game plan. And for Robbie Gordon, who's next, it looks like the plan is to rip apart the course. With thousands watching, he throws up a cloud of dust. He loves it, and so does everybody else. The Tecate SCORE Baja 1000, presented by Gillette, is brought to you by Pacific Ocean, has been a part of Mexican life. Then in 1958, some of the locals were feeling a little entrepreneurial, and they created what has become one of Ensenada's great places. The place to sample the bounty of the sea. The Ensenada Fish Market, or the Mercado de Mariscos. As you look around, you see the usual suspects and soon feel the local hospitality.
Bienvenidos a la Baja 1000.
The Tecate SCORE Baja 1000, presented by Gillette, continues. And in case you haven't guessed, this race is all about dust. If there's one team that has a reputation here, it's Team Honda. And here, Team 1X catches up with Team 4X. But it's all in the family of Honda. Clearly, this is going to be quite a battle.
Dusty.
This is Team Terrible Herbst, the Class 1 vehicle, and there are more than 24 classes, was last year's overall winner, driven by Troy Herbst and Larry Rossler. Rossler knows what it takes to win.
I've won the Baja 1000 10 times overall on a bike, so, you know, not to mention the hundreds of times pre-running, you know, so I think it's a natural transition to jump in a car and still apply yourself. You know, I still have the skills, but let's face it, it's a lot safer in the roll cage than it is on a motorcycle if you make a mistake. You know, the ground hurts.
Following the course is tricky to say the least. This is Josh Baldwin, knowing to make that hard right because of something called pre-running.
Pre-running is basically course reconnaissance. I mean, you see practice at the Indy 500, they get to go out and check out the track. The thing is, we have more than 4 corners, and we have all kinds of unusual things going on. We have oncoming traffic, we have fans on the side of the track, you have other race cars with dust, and other race cars in front of you moving rocks that could just be in the track that weren't there before. So pre-running for me is getting a look at everything as many times as possible, so I'm ready for what is there and prepared possibly for what could be there.
This is a look from inside Cameron's pre-run vehicle. It's not as elaborate as a SCORE trophy truck, but it gets him through the course. And you do this at top speed as well.
I've been pre-running down in Baja since we actually came down the day it opened. I've spent 20 days down here. I think with calculations and the GPS, we have almost 4,000 miles of pre-running. You got to have good people. I mean, we have 5 four-seaters that we've been using to pre-run, and I've been crashing them. I've been wrecking them. My partner, Clyde's been killing them. We've had this whole crew of 10 guys back at the race shop repairing all of our messes and getting the 2 trophy trucks ready. So I think we have 65 guys that are on the core team and another 25 volunteers down here at the 1,000. I couldn't do it with one less.
You can pre-run as long as you like, but you still have to be prepared for anything, like a broken power steering belt, just under the 30-mile mark. Cameron Steele's co-driver, affectionately referred to as Mr. Bean, Justin Smith, he's able to make the necessary repairs. Let's just say you have to be resourceful. Carl Renazader is not as fortunate. His problems are terminal. Total engine failure.
Anything we can do to help? I think it's terminal. Is it? Motor. The plague.
It's not just about driving down here and unloading and throwing her on the track. I mean, it's the teams that are down here that are successful have been planning this for 90 days. The good teams will have over 100 crew members, multiple helicopters. I can't tell you how many chase trucks, and it's really amazing. It's like a military action plan. It's so sophisticated when it comes down to executing the race plan.
Number 19, the second entry from Terrible Herbst, is leading the way in the SCORE Trophy Truck Division. But number 80, Chad Ragland, is setting the best time. And the winner will be determined by the shortest time it takes to get through the 709 miles in a sport that takes total commitment, as it does at Collins Motorsports.
We've been doing this since 1970, was when Martin Collins and his brother Alvin Collins started this. This is our fabrication shop here at Collins Motorsports, and we build trucks in here, we maintain them, we do everything in-house, everything we can. Okay, what we have here is Brian Collins' new race truck. This is his first season in this truck, and we've done quite well so far. Got approximately 33.5 inches of rear travel in this truck. I mean, you figure this thing will go over small ditches with no problem. Basically, we've got to build these trucks to where they can go through a 3-foot whoop at 100 miles an hour and not come apart on us. I mean, we've got to go race 1,000 miles. Well, what we have here is Bobby Baldwin's new trophy truck. This truck was new for Bobby at this 2005 SCORE season, and we're getting it ready for the Baja 1000 right now. It's just about ready to go. Basically, we use Garmin GPSs in all our race vehicles and our pre-runners, and you can't beat them. They've got so many different options. Like on this truck here, it's set up where we can use a rearward-facing camera so that the co-driver can keep an eye behind them to see if anybody is there. And if they are, they can get out of the way without getting hit or anything like that, so they don't hinder anybody else's races. We can hook it up to where you can watch each tire. So you can see if you had a flat tire or anything, and it's just pretty amazing. What we'll do is we'll go down to the pre-run, and we'll take and plot our whole GPS course on our pre-runner GPSs. And we'll mark big ditches, we'll mark sharp turns up in the hills where we don't want to go off a cliff. You know, if you're in the dust, you can't see this stuff, but you can see it on the GPS. Everything's right there, so race day, these guys, you know, it makes it so much easier. The co-driver can start calling this stuff out. I mean, these Garmin GPSs we can set up to where they count down, you know, 20 feet, 10 feet, all the way down to 0. And so it makes it so much easier for these drivers nowadays.
Here's Brian Collins' truck in action. Spinning off course. Crossing a ravine. And back on track. Could your truck do this? Could you shake off the road rage of having Robbie Gordon in your rearview mirror when he's this aggressive? Excuse me, I'm trying to pass. Excuse me. That's the NASCAR nudge. And Robbie gets his way.
Everything looks good. Does everything feel good, Rob? Yeah, everything feels fine. I just wanted you to take a good look at the tires. All right, we'll see you guys at Onos. We got my one car already. Awesome.
Everybody is saying the conditions are ideal in the Tecate SCORE Baja 1000 presented by Gillette. But that doesn't mean it's any less dusty or tough. Honda Rider 4X is in the pits. He's got the physical lead over the 1X bike.
Nice, buddy! Good job, dude. How do you like this wheel? Nice job. Way to go.
Alan's done.
Hey, here we go.
But 1X is leading in overall time. They'll change tires on that bike, and then the third member of their team will ride the next section of the race.
No, it's fine.
Johnny Campbell is beginning to feel the effects of what is considered to be the toughest Baja course in history. Cameron Steele in the number 16 truck is back on the trail. He passes by Carl Renazetter, who at this point is just waiting for a tow truck back home. And that's not fun.
Something happened between when we tested it to today. What do you think happened?
I don't know. I put more fuel in it just to be on the safe side. 2%. That's all I changed.
It had nothing. It went in full second gear.
It's had a sync signal. Kept putting a sync signal in it. So I fixed that before he left. It wouldn't put it back in again. So.
Plan, stay alert, build a great truck, and then have no problems. That's what it takes to win here. Alan Pfluger is one of the few drivers soloing the course. He'll drive the entire 709 miles. All vehicles must stop at checkpoints spread throughout the course. This enables the race directors to make sure everyone is not taking a shortcut. Team Terrible Herbst. They've won every race in the SCORE series, but they've never won here in the trophy truck division. At this point of the course, even when you can't see your opponents, you just follow the cloud.
You're racing against Baja. You have to beat Baja first. That's the challenge. You take on the terrain, you take on the course, and you have to master that. And then you start to worry about where the competition's at.
If you can just make it halfway through, then you're only going to have 20–25% of the field left, and then you can work from there. If you can just stand in line and not make any mistakes till halfway through, you can work from there on into the finish and pass cars and hopefully take the lead.
Yeah, we got him, Bob. We're coming over to the right a little bit here. 35 degrees, 40 degrees. We're looking pretty straight, pretty straight. Go, 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 go. You got him, you got him. Okay, you're coming over to the right here.
The race reaches the summit, where you really have to guard your emotions to go hard and go fast because of the way this thing twists over the mountaintop. After reaching the crest, there's a dangerous ride downhill. It is a place where your race is on the line. You've got to guard your tires as well. And they're a big part of winning here.
B.F. Goodrich has been with SCORE International now for 30 years. They make a fantastic product because they come down to Baja and prove it in Baja.
In a nutshell, what B.F. Goodrich does is more than supply tires. We actually set up a pitting network for any team that is racing on our tires where they can stop by. We will dump fuel, change tires, make any repairs, and send them on their way.
So BFG sets up tractor trailers, communication, food, welders, everything that a racer would need if he had a problem. And they not only help the BFG tire people, but I've seen them when if their pit isn't full at that particular time, if someone on a competitive tire comes in, they will help, and they'll treat them just like one of theirs.
I have probably close to 20,000 miles testing with them, and you really can't believe the size of rocks and the size of just stuff, cactus and sticks and things that these tires can go over and go through at 100 miles an hour plus.
They're looking for their 20th overall win, and that's an incredible feat. I mean, to have 19 is unbelievable. To be going for 20 is fantastic.
No matter what level of auto racing you follow, tires eventually become part of the equation. And B.F. Goodrich is looking to win here for a 20th time. Motorcycle 1X is maintaining the overall lead, while the others are just hoping that the SCORE trophy trucks don't catch up and ride down their back. If you've never entered the world of the Tecate SCORE Baja 1000 presented by Gillette, then you'd never know. But to be here is to see quite a big deal.
To Baja, SCORE International is their professional football, professional baseball, professional soccer. That's what these racers are.
They let the kids off of school for the parades beforehand, you know. So it's special to the Mexican people, and that makes it special for all of us.
The fan base is so thick down here. They love getting autographs, getting t-shirts. They'll do anything for stickers.
Coming down here and racing in Baja is very different compared to racing anything in the United States. Everybody down here, from Class 11, which is a stock Volkswagen, to a trophy truck, is a hero. People are very open to offer a helping hand in anything that you have a problem with. People love racing in Baja, and the fans down here love it.
Just about every fan that's out there in the desert has one thing in common. They'll take a shower tonight. The Tecate SCORE Baja 1000. It's about you against the terrain. And that's what makes things tough.
There's dust in the track. All the cars behind you are complaining they can't see for your dust.
Josh Baldwin likes where he is in the race. Bobby Baldwin has been tapped twice by Class 1 vehicle number 103, Andy McMillan, who's currently leading the race. But this interclass battle is one to watch. McMillan is an 18-year-old prodigy, and next year, he'll be riding a truck for the veteran from NASCAR, Robbie Gordon. So they get out of his way. So next year, McMillan will ride for Robbie Gordon. And last year, Gordon's mantra was, we're going to win or we're going to break. And this year, it looks like Robbie Gordon is playing out the same mantra, moving yet another competitor out of his way. Gordon passes the team known as the Desert Assassins. A Class 1 battle. 103 in the lead, and this team 105 right with him. Terrible Herbst, Class 1, last year's overall winner. In the car right now is Troy Herbst, who knows how to win.
Last year when we won the overall Peninsula Run, it's a one-way, 1,200-mile course. This was a giant loop, and we get to see a lot of bits and pieces, but there's the silt hills and the holes, and you know, there's 10 feet that'll knock you out. There's no resting here. This is one of the toughest courses we've been on. The Baja is a lot like life.
One moment you're Bobby Baldwin and you're fine. The next, your tire's rolling, your axle's cracked, and you're done. Everything has come to a halt. Initially, the team might think that they can fix what's gone wrong. But it's not long before they know this is not going to be fixed. Body language says a lot. Hoping something like that doesn't happen is the race leader, truck number 103, Class 1 vehicle Andy McMillan, who stops at Borrego. The teenager is out, and Dad Scott is in. Scott will drive for the next 200 miles. There's a heart-tugging subplot here that goes along with the urgency of being the race leader. The McMillans learned this strategy from the legendary Corky McMillan, who for the first time isn't here.
I don't know of anyone that can succeed at anything alone.
On September 22nd, this world lost a remarkable man. Corky McMillan, a legend to the sport of off-road racing, and he left an indelible mark.
He was one of the best teachers that I've ever known, and better than any teacher I've ever had in a classroom. And he taught me all there is to know about off-road racing, your family, you know, just what it takes to succeed in life. And he's just an amazing guy, and if you didn't meet him, it's too bad because he's a great guy.
And a war veteran. As a tribute to Corky, the team took turns driving the 128 car in memory of an extraordinary gentleman who will be remembered for his generosity and the legacy of McMillan Racing. Corky would have loved the way this day is playing out. Class 1 leaving the pit at Borrego, now being driven by Scott McMillan, Andy's dad. So far, so good.
We haven't had any flat tires, so that's always good, and we're running out front. But there's so many rocks out there that you can hit, and so many obstacles and trucks that you hit, and they see you back there and they just hit on the gas and get away from you. So it's been hard, but we're running good.
Trouble for the motorcycles. Chad Ragland is just 30 seconds behind him, and the motorcycles have to start thinking about the 6,000-pound, 800-horsepower monsters that are bearing down on them.
That's the most fearful moment of any person's life, is when a trophy truck comes behind you and you're on a motorcycle. They have no idea most of the time that we're there, and we can be inches from them, and the bikes are so loud that they can't hear us. I'm hoping that with technology we can work on things to help alert them when we're there and make the sport safer for them. But the motorcycle guys definitely are nuts.
And most people think they're not the only ones nuts around here. In Ensenada, Mexico, they treat the Tecate SCORE Baja 1000 like a national holiday. Thousands of fans of off-road racing come out to vehicle inspections, as well as the all-day autograph signings. These Baja drivers are definitely stars. To the drivers, Baja means 15 hours minimum, maximum 30, out there in the desert and the hills that eventually just wear you down. 8 hours into the race. Here's one rider doing his best to hang on. As always happens, the fans are quick to help, but that's gotta hurt. It's so much easier being in front and having a clear view of it all. Honda pit stop at race 390.
Go! Go get him, Johnny. Go get him.
Johnny Campbell climbs on the 1X. Taking the bike from Mike Childress, the third member of the 1X team, Campbell is now in the physical lead, as well as the overall lead according to time. Kendall Norman, also on a Honda, comes in on the 4X. The pit crew's got to deal with a crushed tailpipe.
Dude, that pipe mount's done. We got to do it. We got to do it. Do it. Out of the way. Move. We're doing something anyway. Don't let go. Pump the rear brake, anybody. Get the 10. Get the 10. Get the 10. Rear brake. Pump it. Pump it. Thank you.
Number 82, Bob Shepard, is 250 miles into the race and 5 minutes behind the overall leader in time. He's fourth in his class, and there are many races within the race. Number 12, Brian Collins, 20 minutes behind Bob Shepard. The flat terrain of Laguna Salada enables the drivers to reach speeds up to 130 miles an hour.
With regards to race mile 252254 with a booby trap, we'd like to remark the course around it.
Robbie Gordon's shocks are getting a workout, and this ATV quad is working his way through the ruts made by those 4x4 vehicles that have passed him at this point. Scott Steinberger in trouble.
Okay, it's in a sand wash with help. The engine's shut off at this time, but they're stuck in a sand wash, but they have help and they will be going again.
Baja is an unbelievable challenging deal, and unpredictable stuff happens all the time. There's stuff that's going to make your pulse go through the ceiling, and there's unpredictable things like booby traps that locals might build, or cows in the middle of the road, and you're going 140 miles an hour, and you just can't plan for these things. So that stuff's going to amp your adrenaline, and that's part of racing.
So that looks like a 3-foot high jump they built. Yeah, just built up dirt on the road here, Mike.
The truck everyone's talking about is number 105, Team Terrible Herbst. They've been flawless so far.
We're not doing any statuses today. No statuses. Too much radio traffic.
Everybody in the race is thinking about the sun. They know it's coming. It's called sunset.
At Honda 6, he's continuing on the bike. He's the rider ready.
And if things are tough enough in the daylight, just multiply by 10.
Yeah, copy that. We'll course around it.
And turn your lights on. Many of the drivers claim they enjoy racing at night. But it's still something you have to get used to. Motorcycle 1X arrives at the Team Honda pit. Mike Childress is off. Steve Hengeveld is on.
Wait a minute, TJ. What? Yeah, bottom down. Go down here. Shake it a little. Shake it a little. Perfect. Cool.
Hengeveld is on and in front, with a 9th straight win in his sights, but with a full respect that anything can happen out there in the Baja, especially at night. Strange things can happen in the desert at night. Every driver in the Baja knows it. Hours at the wheel, danger at every turn, yet somehow to win or finish, you must stay sharp.
I got a crack! I got a crack! I got a crack!
Suddenly it's the middle of the night and you're dealing with a crack. And racing on. Tim Herbst has taken over the night driving from his older brother Ed in the number 19 Terrible Herbst truck. No problems here. They're on their way back to Ensenada. Most successful teams use the technology of GPS. But sometimes it helps to just point the way. Driving at night, it's different here.
Nighttime's another world. Nighttime racing is amazing, and it's something you need to get used to. But I like the nighttime racing. I can stay more focused on the trail and not think about anything else, and just stick to my notes and do everything right.
Would Corky McMillan be proud of this? The number 115, driven by his family and now by Mark McMillan, is among the leaders. The number 103 truck that was in the lead had broken a clutch plate and been down for almost 2 hours. While the 4x4s have up to 10 lights, the motorcycles run with only 1 or 2. And that limits things a bit.
John Oak concerning the fire, go ahead.
Out there in the darkness is Johnny Campbell of the leading 1X bike team. He's not sure what Steve Hengeveld has on his mind, because this is Hengeveld's last chance to give up the bike and let Campbell finish. It's pretty obvious to Campbell that Hengeveld is going for it. Chad Ragland's number 80 SCORE Trophy truck is now being driven by his dad, Larry. Larry's won the SCORE Trophy truck class 4 times, but not since '99. So he's out to end the drought. They say weird things happen when the full moon is out. And the full moon is out at Baja. The Tecate SCORE Baja 1000, presented by Gillette. Started in early morning, it's 9 o'clock at night. Steve Hengeveld on the 1X Honda motorcycle is heading into the baseball stadium of downtown Ensenada. He is the first across the finish to capture Honda's 9th consecutive and 16th overall win here in the Tecate SCORE Baja 1000 presented by Gillette. In a time of 14 hours and 20 minutes, his average speed is over 50 miles an hour.
We pretty much prepare all year long for this race. This is the biggest race of the year for us, and you know, we have a lot of races in, but this is the main one. This is the main one to win all year long, and we did it.
Thank you.
1X and 4X, they dueled the entire day, and Kendall Norman pulls into the corral 17 minutes later to capture second place for the Honda B. "15 hours after they started, the number 105 Herbst is the first four-wheel to cross the finish line. Team Terrible wins their second straight Baja 1000 overall championship. The last time someone won the overall back-to-back was a decade ago. Along the way, they passed 93 motorcycles and ATVs, 30 SCORE Trophy trucks, and 4 Class 1s to cross the finish line first.
Troy and I, we pulled it off, and this year he gave me the car 4th physically, and we were like right there, and it was incredible. No flat tires, and just a fantastic day. It was one of the hardest Bajas ever, 1000 for sure.
Bob Shepard is the first SCORE Trophy truck to cross the finish. He gets the win in the premier SCORE Trophy truck class, and he did it driving the entire 709 miles himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't plan on driving the whole race. I was hoping I'd put Larry Ragland in the last 300 miles, and he got in with Chad in Larry's old car. So it was father and son. So I'm racing with the Herbstes and the Raglands all day today. We were going at it and had a great day today. It was really fun.
When you look at the terrain of the Baja, it's impossible not to admire the tires. And for B.F. Goodrich, this is win number 20.
To go 130 miles an hour across the desert
in a 6,000-pound vehicle. You know, you need to have that kind of confidence underneath you. In this particular race, we didn't even get a flat tire on the whole 700 miles.
What we accomplish out there is because of these tires. There's no other way to do it without tires that tackle this kind of terrain and not go flat.
It's extremely special to be able to get 20 off-road wins in a row, especially in the Baja 1000.
They put an unbelievable amount of effort into this sport and us, the racers, and they mean everything to us, and we mean a lot to them, and it's just a great relationship that we have with BFG. Couldn't do it without them.
You know, we've made the desert and the courses of Baja our home. It's not only our home in racing, but it's our home, it's a test track for our off-road product. And to win it 20 consecutive years in a row is unbelievable.
For the Herbst family, a day of celebration. But for Tim and Ed Herbst, it's another year without the elusive SCORE Trophy truck title. Stories abound. Larry Ragland with an impressive fourth-place finish here at Baja. And he got the chance to do it with his son, Chad. And that's the way it played out in the 38th edition of the Tecate SCORE Baja 1000, presented by Gillette. 30 SCORE Trophy trucks entered and only 17 finished.
Yeah, it's definitely.
You know, both these arms, you want to see them both waving out compared to the one.
Robbie Gordon experienced problems with his shock absorbers throughout the day, finishing the race in 20 hours and 17 minutes. Cameron Steele replaced his power steering belt 7 times throughout the day. He finished the race in 20 hours and 37. The truck, in memory of Corky McMillan, finished as well. We all take up different pursuits in our lives, and for those we've watched, this does it for them. Take on what feels like a forsaken earth and beat it. Go faster than you think is possible and survive. They have a passion for what they do, and that's a must in this amazing world of dust. Off-road racing. It's what floats their boat.